Is there a closing time for it to respond to these comments? In the closing comment period almost over?
It is very close, so you would have to do it probably within the next couple of weeks.
That's just for the environmental assessment?
Yeah, it's just for the projects that are listed.
Mr. Morrison, what is the impacts to Wildomar, if any?
It's hard to say. That the project itself is not within the city boundaries. So there could be indirect traffic impacts that have been mentioned tonight. There could be indirect visual impacts if you're located at the very northwestern boundary of the city, I suppose. Depending on where the transmission lines go, if you looked up at the hills, you might be able to see the transmission lines there. I'd also encourage, what I'd really do is encourage the council through its city manager or legal counsel to look at the FERC website and look at the EIS or request a copy of the EIS. It has a tremendous amount of information in it that would answer a lot of the questions that you have today.
Well, yeah, hopefully everybody's already done that. I read it.
Yeah.
Well, the EIS was some time ago.
Yes, it was.
Has the district looked at evaluating this project with higher criteria than due to economic factors? Do you think that's something that might figure into the environmental assessment / possible EIR?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Because I know things have changed.
Right. No, absolutely.
I know it's going to affect what we're doing.
Well, and I'm sure, I'm confident that the board of directors for EVMWD is well aware of the economic conditions right now, and that I'm sure is a consideration forefront in all their minds.
I just want to make a statement. This is all well and good, and of course we should be reading those documents and commenting appropriately. But I think some of the concerns go beyond these documents, and I think you're well aware of what those concerns are in terms of initially closed-door meetings, budgets, black holes, budget information. And I think perhaps maybe that's coming more out in the open now, but I think that was initially where people had some real concern about, wait a minute, why can't we get access to this? Why isn't it an open? And I understand, when there's certain things that you have to have closed door, but when the whole process started out that way, and I'm looking at net cost table as of September 30th, and under other costs, which are significant, there's no breakdown for that. And I'm wondering, where is the breakdown? And that is the major portion from 1993 to September, $3 million, but there's no breakdown, it just says other costs. So is that kind of information in the EIR?
No.
Okay, where could we access that? Do you have line items for that?
I'm not sure if we do, because I'm not in the finance department, but you would have a public records request through the district, through our board secretary, and ask for that.
All right, thank you.
So the tree lines go down Grand Avenue, correct?
I don't have the map in front of me. If they do, it's
They do.
They do. There's several different.
And then they go over to the Cresta.
Right.
So the lines do come through Wildomar.
Well, yeah, along the hillside, yeah.
Okay. So our concern would be that there's these transmission lines in the hillside.
Right. That was my comment earlier. That it's not in the city boundaries, but it's certainly within you.
So I'm just trying to gather information on the whole project. Looks like it provided us with lots of places to look, so appreciate that. Is there any last question from the City Council?
I appreciate your coming tonight. I know it's kind of probably when
No
you're
problem.
but I think it's totally appropriate that we ask questions, and that we should be reading these materials, and we should be submitting our comments through the typical process, and those kind of questions are certainly available through the EIR and through the environmental assessment. But like I said, I think it's some of these other things that maybe we don't see or are not available through that where the greatest concern is. So I think it behooves us all as a community to try to attend the water meetings, or do you post your minutes, or do you take your water meetings? Or
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so those are available.
Those are available through our board secretary. taped.
Meetings are not taped.
Do you have an audio or do you have a video of your
We have written minutes.
minutes?
from
Okay, well,
the-
those are never comprehensive, as we all know. Okay, so I guess it would be best to actually attend the meetings if you want to hear the full discussion, I think.
I would encourage you to.
Okay, and so is this actually discussed at the meeting, at your water board meetings out in the open?
If it's on the agenda, yes, ma'am.
If it isn't, then what? Are you inviting us in?
Well, the public will welcome to make statements just like they did this evening.
No, I think people want to hear the discussion that goes on about the projects. I'm not just making statements, because you can do that through the EIR. I think they want to hear more of the process itself and what's going on in the board's mind. I know that's what they want from us.
I guess I would recommend that you contact board members for that, because
Okay.
we don't take minutes or anything like that, conversations that happen. We have no
No,
idea
no,
of knowing what's
understood,
in
just
board
the
members'
motion.
mind.
Right, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair Cash, on this issue, certainly we could, if directed by the council-elect, at least get the dates for comments that are due for you and hearings that are coming up, so that you will know what time frame is for these things.
Yes, please. And are we making comments as a resident, or are we going to make comments as city council?
Only if we vote on it at city council, are we going to make comments as a city council.
But at least
Or we can always make comments as a resident.
It's just important with these things to comment as you go, otherwise you can be precluded down the line from acting upon the comments.
So unless we put it on a further agenda, another agenda, how are we going to make comments as a city council?
Well, obviously, it would have to be on an agenda. My suggestion is simply that we perhaps we could get some dates for you so you'll know when these things will come out.
Okay.